Already! Welcome to the next game, playing the white Terran LsP, SooAh playing the yellow Protoss NaDa.LiKe. Yeah, guys, just make sure to like NaDa and subscribe to his channel, you know, like his account and profile, you know. So, alright, PvT and exciting game. NaDa opens up with a mid build, or basically a proxy pylon, PP. Very strange, he built that there, but I think he will cancel that once that that probe didn't see anything, well, or doesn't see anything, but he didn't. Well, okay, this is still a proxy gateway opening by him, and this thing, okay, why didn't he build it there? Well, simply an explanation is the following. Wow, I'm really official, really scientific, so official explanation. It's like never mind. So he's opening there with the gateways because basically this might be a trick, and this way the other player might think that NaDa is right here. And if he expands there, then he might think that he is here. Anyway, this placement suggests that NaDa is here, and if the other player is a Zerg, for example, and opens up with a pull rush, then of course the Lings can easily think that the enemy is right here, so they go in this direction, and NaDa has the time at home to prepare some more defense. Never mind, this is not the case, so NaDa won't get any surprise attacks, as SooAh is Terran and he's not the player who tends to rush. He takes his time and it's totally fine, so yep. His guys are scouting now, of course RVR. And of course no map hack, so they have to scout, wow. So, they are scouting right now and they know the race of the other player. So these zealots from the proxy gateways are pulling outside and starting to advance towards SooAh, who will need to micro, and he did, so use that marine to get back and let the others shoot. But right now he will need to pay more attention because lots of zealots are heading towards him, so he's pulling back those marines, starts this bunker right here. But he will also, okay, it depends, yeah, he will need those marines badly if NaDa starts a cannon push as well inside his base, but it seems he's not doing that. He's just sending zealots, which is the better option or better case for SooAh, because he just has to survive this attack or this zealot harassment, and once he survives, then of course he has greater chances, as NaDa basically went for an extra nexus. Okay, to be honest, I'm not really seeing how NaDa wants to play this game, because usually mid-build or proxy attacks are usually is escorted by or followed by either DTs or cannon pushes or cannon rush, and in a few cases Krieg Dragoons. But he doesn't really go with any of these. He started an extra extra nexus there, but he's making a great use of these zealots anyway. So he's doing nicely there. He is killing everything he can find, easier targets like SCVs. few marines here and there. So yeah, it's okay. Yeah, he's doing a nice job there. He's really harassing him, and he didn't even stop with the zealots, sending newer ones, but these two extra command centers, well, a bit risky to be honest. But if those command centers are finished and he can make use of them, then it can mean a huge advantage for SooAh. So and basically it's also a bit lucky, so to say, because NaDa didn't really go on with the DTs or the cannon push or dragoons, and he gave SooAh time basically to be able to add those extra command centers safely. But he started this engineering bay just to be sure, because of course he doesn't know what's coming to him. And okay, dragoons arrive now. I mean, they didn't arrive yet. They are just going and heading towards the base of SooAh. And if he... Zealots, alright. I wanted to say that if he continued with goons, actually he would have a chance, but he's adding more and more zealots. Well, alright, zealots are also nice because they take damage. And while they are taking damage, the goons at the background are able to shoot the ground units of SooAh, who is starting this bunker right there. So what NaDa is doing, I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that, but yeah, DTs or even drops would have been more effective, because right now SooAh has this choke, and it will be very hard for NaDa to enter or just basically kill the choke, because marines have range upgrades. I'm pretty sure they have, and yeah, goons become useless in that case. Alright, so NaDa is just gradually building up. He's not really rushing with the tech either, he's just started the upgrades. And the robotics and the Templar archives are just started right now. So yep, we are looking ahead to a really long macro game. And turrets are also started by him. I mean, SooAh. Yeah, basically SooAh has an advantage right now because he started drop defense while NaDa doesn't have any drops. So basically, he's yeah, one step ahead at this moment. In the beginning of the game, he was one step behind because he started the two extra command centers, being a bit risky. He didn't really have tanks, just marines. But he was really good with the timing, so he did a nice job with the timing and the choke. So he was able to defend. But NaDa will have a better economy, of course. I think he has a better economy and will have more units. Depends on whether SooAh will be able to get enough tanks to defend these mass units. Once you are not able to break the choke of a Terran as a Protoss player, it becomes very hard for you to continue the game and win, because you need to find out something really creative. So go for mass drops, and recall can also come in the picture, but you need to. So only ground units won't work. You will need carriers to escort your ground units. So you need to find out something, or it can be even a trick. For example, getting a big choke with cannons and then starting an extra base somewhere else with gateways, and then let your enemy start attack you, and then you fly inside from your secret base with zealots. But you need to have lots of cannons and a few reavers maybe at home to be able to survive their attack and attack their base in the background. Anyway, drop is getting ready, and so is just flying that dropship. But the problem is that NaDa has enough cannons at home, so he was prepared, and right now he sees that. So I wouldn't blame him for turning back. I think he just well, yeah, he'll he'll unload those units here and slowly start killing the cannons that are in the way. SooAh is right now praying to God, please, these gateways don't produce any units. Go, quickly unsiege and go further. There we go, alright. Oh, okay, I think it takes more time to unload, but anyway. Come on, man, sorry, I'm laughing hard because NaDa doesn't care. I mean, he couldn't care less about this. NaDa couldn't care less about this drop, seriously. SooAh dropped these tanks inside his base like few years ago, and yeah, no units. He's not pulling probes, and well, we missed the drop, but seriously. Okay, alright, this is in. Okay, so this tank died now. That's okay. So what I wanted to say is, who cares about this drop? When you have a drop like this, two tanks dropped inside, they kill the drop defense, they move forward, they start killing probes, and you still don't do anything about it. So just anyway, yeah, no drop ever was so funny like this. Anyway, yeah, so NaDa was also dropping in the background, and well, based on the supplies, I don't see that drop being very effective. Okay, no upgrades available for SooAh yet, and 111 upgrade for NaDa.LiKe. Don't forget to like his channel and Facebook profile, you know. And also such a pleasure, you know, I mean, come on, such a pleasure to comment the game of the world's most famous tennis player, Rafael Nadal. So come on, it's my pleasure to to comment his game. Anyway, he's adding a few more gateways, creating mass shuttles and preparing for mass drops, and SooAh is just adding a few more supplies. They are getting a few more turrets, and these zealots start this attack now. I think they serve as a distraction, but this drop here is going for the choke or not. Alright, he doesn't stop and he continues. Their tanks are there to protect, but shuttles try to drop on top of them, which the idea was nice, but the problem is that the tanks were separated quite well by SooAh, so The separated tanks basically managed to save the others. Only a few went down. That bunker is empty. I would add at least one fire bat and a few marines, but anyway, he has a nice drop defense. But if NaDa wants, he can continue this mass drop style and load lots of shuttles with zealots and drop on top of the tanks, and after that, if SooAh didn't replenish his tanks, then he could just drop on top of the main. Okay, SooAh is scanning for extra bases, but he couldn't really find any, which is good for him. Well, yeah, in such cases, when a Terran player is really closing in and doesn't plan to come outside for the next 100 years, then the best option is basically mass drops. Seriously, like 12 shuttles and all of them filled up with zealots, and then just drop them here, supported by a few corsairs, because basically you cannot really protect against that. And even mass protection is by Terran is bad, because if Terran has, I don't know, 100 tanks there, and you unload zealots on top of the SCVs, then the splash damage from the tanks can kill your SCVs. So yeah, that's what NaDa can try in this case, to mass drops or start thinking about getting air units. He's also starting cannons right here. Okay, 1-1 upgrade for the tech for SooAh, and still 1-1 upgrade for NaDa, who is just researching newer upgrades now. Okay, Valkyries just flying here and there, trying to catch shuttles. But it seems that NaDa got bored of the drops and he's just massing up on zealots and probably will try. Okay, this is another option, but the problem is it won't really work now. So another option is massing up on zealots, lots of zealots, and just basically start attacking the choke, start attacking the covering buildings, because the tanks with the splash damage will eventually clear the way. And well, SooAh sieged up, but in the beginning he wasn't sieged up, and that's why I said that this won't really work. But even with the siege tanks, it didn't work, so well, of course, for this you need more zealots and more upgrades as regards defense goes. Okay, so it's just starting to pour outside now, slowly advancing with the tanks. So this drop failed. It seems that the turrets were able to slow down the shuttle who was able to unload zealots. Anyway, SooAh is advancing outside. He's just getting rid of these zealots. He really wants to get some map control now. This is the phase of the game when the Terran player is able to take a deep breath and basically just start getting map control. He has economy, he has drop defense, and yeah, the Protoss player, and this is the time when the Protoss player starts to feel bad because the game becomes very hard as the Terran gets more upgrades. Then it's very hard to fight the ground unit of the Terran. This probe is thinking about something big. He's thinking about how to win the game. Well, what I can whisper to that probe is carriers. Carriers combined with ground units can work really well. But anyway, these units by NaDa, supported by Storm and few DTs, basically cleared the attacking units of SooAh, who is reproducing units now, just as NaDa does. Alright, more and more zealots are now arriving by NaDa, and they are on top of the tanks. Tanks are microed and pulled back. Glides at back are providing nice assistance for the tanks. So this attack was not really successful, but more and more units are coming from NaDa. He's really pumping units now, so he has enough gateways, he has economy, so what he can try is just continue pumping hard as hell. And I must say that SooAh's choke is zero basically. This bunker is empty, no more buildings to cover. But well, he might be alright as newer units that pump out, or newer units that pop out from these factories are of course in general stronger than the Protoss ground units. So it's still hard for NaDa to win the game, because even though no choke is available and he can get inside the base of SooAh, it's very hard now because the tanks and the freshly produced glides of course are enough to stop these zealots. So what SooAh has to do now is get the choke back slowly, get some defense. Yes, he has lots of Valkyries to be honest, but at least they serve as a protection against shuttles, I mean against drops in general. So choke was destroyed, glides are in the way, but they are going down quite fast to the zealots who are getting on top of the tanks. But SooAh is doing a nice job with those tanks at the background, in the background. So I think this probe here will start producing Stargates soon. And I missed the scan, so I was scanning, I'm not sure. I have a feeling so I was scanning this part of the map. I just heard the noise of the scan, but didn't check. But I think he was seeing this and he wants to be prepared in advance. He is flying these units here. Okay, never mind. Well, yeah. He's checking for extra bases, but it was funny because he could have just left them there as a warning for NaDa that you shouldn't start these targets. Anyway. So we started those buildings anyway. And it might be a good timing because SooAh basically just is in the belief that no extra buildings are available. He shouldn't fear any extra bases. So he turned back with those Valkyries who really feel useless. Yeah, they are just resting there. They are sleeping a bit, you know. They just see zealots, and yeah, it's alright. Yeah, finally they did their job. This is the coolest job a man can have. You have to work like I don't know, 1 day in a year, so they kill the observer and that's it. So their job is done. They killed an observer. That's fantastic. They will get an extra salary for this, raising salary bonus, you know. And anyways, so I can't wait for these buildings to finish. He's really looking forward for this target and the units they produce. Yeah. Okay, he's going down there, but the problem is that NaDa hasn't produced yet. So he really tries to utilize these units. So yeah, he's just flying around, you know. Maybe they find something, maybe anything, you know. They these units. Excuse me. So these units will be happy even for an observer, you know. Anything, just give me something. But it's not the case. But luckily these newer buildings by NaDa is looks quite promising for these Valkyries. Alright, finally SooAh is able to come outside, and I have a feeling that this might be enough to finish the game, because NaDa is loading up on shuttles, and this is not the perfect opportunity or perfect time to do that, because SooAh is just pouring outside now, and NaDa doesn't have anything at home. He has lots of units inside these shuttles, so basically this is, and he even alright, okay, let's see. So he's unloading them now. If he manages to kill the main, then of course it's great for him. He is on the hunt for the main. SCVs are pulled, main is repaired, but it's really going down. Zealots are surrounding the main. Let's see if he manages to kill that main, and he does. Alright, well, to be honest, this action should have taken place much earlier. But what I want to say is that still SooAh might be able to take this game, because Even though he lost his main, he has economy, and he's threatening the base of NaDa now, who might experience problems surviving this push because the ground units of the Protoss player are much weaker than the ground units of the Terran player. But SooAh needs to take care. I mean, he cannot afford losing his factories. Well, in this case, NaDa will be able to survive for sure, and he might even win the game, because without a main, SooAh will run out of resources quite fast if he continues pumping. And also he's losing lots of his buildings, so well, you know, the main problem was having those many Valkyries, so he couldn't really make any use of them. They were taking lots of supplies, and well, if he had those supplies in tanks and glides, then it would have been much better for him. Okay, it seems that NaDa is not really making use of these Stargates. As SooAh lost his main, I think he's trusting these ground units, and he wants to finish this game using only the Zealots. So mines cleared quite a few Zealots, so basically it went well for SooAh to survive this push now. Okay, SooAh will be able to scan till the end of time, so he's alright with this. And since he has economy, he might be able to operate on these resources he has, and might not need to build more SCVs. Well, yeah, what I will do is stop SCVs and use all my supplies to add more ground units and start the attack. SooAh cannot really afford sitting in his base, because if he doesn't really come outside, then NaDa will just get lots of carriers. He really needs to push now, but it seems that he's just closing in. Okay, well, he can try. Okay, alright, then in this case he has to strive for a really long game, like a seriously long game, because he can close inside, but then this only works if he then gathers up lots of gas and minerals. NaDa is really patient with this, so this tank will discover this extra base with the Stargates. So NaDa is really patient. I mean, he built those buildings like half an hour ago, and this tank. Well, NaDa just should build one scout. Anyway, this tank is just sieged. It's alright, guys. He starts shooting whatever he can find. This reminds me of the drop in the beginning of the game. But yeah, this time NaDa won't wait that long, so he sends 3 Zealots to kill that tank, and he's also attacking in the background. But the defense of SooAh is quite nice. Also that SCV is doing a nice job slowing those units down. and still no carriers. I was hoping that one tank makes NaDa to finally start those units, but he still doesn't want to make use of those buildings. So yeah, maybe he just needs to build like, I don't know, yeah, 100 other Stargates, and then he can start producing. Maybe he just needs more, you know. These buildings are not enough. But anyway, or maybe it's a trick. Yeah, this is a trick. Why did he build those pylons if he left? Maybe it's another trick too. Well, yeah, first trick is creating these buildings. SooAh believes that, alright, he has Stargates, he will produce from here. But then, okay, two probes are needed. And then SooAh is in the belief that Stargates are producing units in that section of the map, but he won't do it. He will start Stargates here, and he will produce from here. And then basically SooAh is just wasting his time on this expansion. That's the trick. But it seems NaDa doesn't have that tricky mind I have. NaDa is bored of this game actually. He hates this game already. He doesn't care. He just produced a few grand units, attack every 5 minutes, you know, trying, and yeah, SooAh. This reminds me of the game between SooAh and Abu Muhammad, where that game was like 3 hours long, and in that game Abu was just basically dropping. He didn't really do anything. He was just dropping, you know, and dropped every 10 minutes, and SooAh was able to get back resources. So yeah, that was crazy. But anyway, damn, this is found. And these Valkyries. These Valkyries are basically older than the universe. Alright, gateways. Well, maybe the trick of SooAh worked well. I mean, he flew those Valkyries there when the Stargates weren't even ready, and basically he just made another scare about the yeah, just to be absolutely scared. NaDa feels I shouldn't make any air units because he has Valkyries anyway. But he's, yeah, combining the tricks I mentioned. So he starts this new base here, and it seems that he might try Zealots only, but for that I will send all my probes from the gas to die, and then basically just use all the supply to get Zealots, mass Zealots. I think NaDa will lose this game, so I don't know why I'm laughing. Of course I'm not laughing at him, I'm just laughing at the situation. I don't know, I mean, okay, I know sometimes, so I know that finishing a Terran is very hard in the long run, but yeah, but it's not impossible, especially if they lost their main. But I think NaDa just got bored. He's just producing Zealots and nothing else. He doesn't want to make any air units, and you know, he's not even pumping continuously like all the time. You have to have like 250 APMs to be able to pump continuously from all the existing buildings at the same time, and then it's fine. So that APM is surely enough for that. It's also enough for attacking at the same time. So this is his only chance. If he wants to win the game with Zealots, then he has to attack and pump at the same time. So he cannot let these gateways to be empty. He needs to have all gateways produce at least one unit at the same time and attack at the same time, and also send these guys to die to get supply. That's his only chance. Otherwise this game is totally over for him. And I really have a feeling, okay, let's make a bet. I make a bet that NaDa will start producing air units soon. So because if he didn't produce them, if he hasn't produced them yet, then yeah, why not now? So he could just start. That's my theory. I mean, thinking with his head. So NaDa will think that, okay, never mind, I'll just do it. Why not? I mean, come on, I'm so sad. I'm so angry. Okay, I don't give a shit about this. I will just start producing carriers. Who cares? Who carriers? Anyway. So he will survive thanks to these two bases, and of course it's very hard for the Terran because they have to divide their units to attack both bases, but the best option here is mass mines at the entrance there. So once this base is closed by mines, he can start focusing on the main base. But he doesn't have the opportunity now. He has to protect at home. And everything continues. And starts from the beginning. But I'm still saying that if NaDa wants to win this game by grand units only, then he should really send these units to die to get supply, and then just continuously pump units. Because so far what he did is just he made new units, started the attack finished, SooAh survived, he went back, produced newer units, etc. So basically that's what happened. And meanwhile attacking, I would also start mass cannons, because that's his only chance to be able to get air units. And I'm really not sure about these cannons. Okay, so because this way basically NaDa enables SooAh just to gather up on resources, have some in the bank, and he can still add newer buildings, because he just needs more factories, to be honest, to win this game. So if he wants to win this game, he just has to add more factories. He doesn't have enough now, so he cannot reproduce that many units when he's attacking. Anyway, he's commencing a newer attack, and let's see this time if he's more cautious about these extra buildings. He should just add a few mines there that show to kill as many zealots as possible. Okay, this time SooAh is just slowly progressing. He doesn't want to rush, he really wants to think over these things. Well, he doesn't need to think that much, he should really just add a few mines there, the choke, so that NaDa wastes his extra units, but newer buildings are built here. So basically, SooAh will have to protect in multiple directions. And SooAh will need more factories, basically. Yeah, so he's just trying to clear this section. I think he just wants to make sure that he has the possibility to create a new command center there. If he wants to have higher chances in this game, then of course he should have more opportunities to mine from. Okay, perfect scan there. So, yep, he sees this extra base now. He knows about this. It's not a secret anymore, but it's still hard for him because he will have to divide his units now. But yeah, mines will be the perfect answer to this situation when the Protoss player has lots of extra bases. And well, he's just I think he will do it. Probably he will send some vultures either here or here to get a few mines, but instead he's just adding them in the middle of the map, which at the moment is also nice. He can just yeah, kill a few zealots this way. But he's also killing a few tanks with the mines, so it's a bit dangerous. He should place those mines a bit further away. And also another problem is that NaDa doesn't have enough supplies. I mean, he's full on probes. He has over 40,000 gas and 25,000 minerals, which is not the best thing you can have. So lots of probes are taking the supply, and he's not able to utilize these bases because if he creates units in one base using all the gateways, then the supply is gone, so he doesn't have the chance to produce units from these gateways. So basically he will need more supply. So really not sure about the gas. I mean, and finally, alright, so he's sending those probes now to die. He's freeing up supply. And he starts carriers. Motherfuckers. Okay. Well, these units here pop out to die. Unless they are scouts. Okay, they should be scouts, to be honest. If they okay, carriers. Well, and he doesn't see. No way! I come on. That's okay. That's hilarious. So, and finally, okay, he found that. So this carrier goes down. And he saw, yeah, but he just, okay, never mind. He's flying back. So he starts with this base, but he starts with this base, but yeah, he needs to still pay attention to these tanks. One turret is available and another one here. But once they go down, then he won't be able to protect against these carriers. So newer carriers died as well. These two are also going down. So it's getting a bit more problematic for NaDa now. He's losing this extra base. He is not really utilizing this one. Carriers are dying. Zealots are quite useless in this section of the map. So, all right. Yep, this is very hard now. NaDa is getting tired, I think. Yeah, if he loses here, well, you know, it's hard, but I think he didn't really make the proper decisions, and SooAh was more patient. But SooAh needs to pay attention now again, because these carriers will, well, 5 or sorry, 4, so not that many. But yeah, still he needs to pay attention. And yep, he sends those Valkyries. Not sure why he sends them home. Okay, seems he doesn't care about these buildings. He lets him finish the carriers anyway. Maybe he, yeah, maybe he just wants him to deliberately add carriers to waste supplies, because he knows that the Valkyries and Goliaths and the tanks will be enough to finish his ground units and carriers together. I'm not sure, but anyways, yeah, he's just sending the Valkyries that way. And Guns, okay, never mind, he stopped there. Alright, these carriers are now clearing a few tanks and the Valkyries arrive, but just to attack the interceptors, which is not the best option. Still better than nothing, but they should go for the carriers themselves. Okay, so yeah, Goliaths with Valkyries are really strong against carriers, and NaDa also knows this, so he's turning back and sends a few zealots outside just to be able to fight these units. But the problem is that by the time they reach the tanks, they are dead. So the question remains, who will get tired faster, who will be the first one to make a few mistakes. Alright guys, sorry, I need to take this phone call. It's quite important. I will be back. Alright, sorry guys, I am back. Well, yeah, I think you didn't miss much. I think being being away, I think I can summarize what happened. So NaDa was sending newer zealots. He was trying to catch a few tanks with the carriers, but the Gaiets and the Valkyries stopped them. Anyway, yeah, joking apart, let's see what the guys are planning to do. So it seems that SooAh was able to clear most of the map, and NaDa was able to fill or get lots of carriers who are now attacking and supported by the zealots. They are doing a nice job, but the problem is that the zealots will die to these tanks, and then the Gaiets and the Valkyries will have much easier time finishing these carriers, because the zealots of course were taking the damage, and again these Valkyries are attacking the interceptors, and it's always advisable to attack the carriers instead. But anyway, yeah, the carriers are going down now. Gaiets started to attack them. So, of course, Valkyries kill interceptors a bit faster than they are remade, but he still has many, so the Valkyries have to kill lots of interceptors. So I will definitely go for the carriers themselves. So newer zealots are arriving now, and they are getting on top of the tanks. And this looks a bit problematic for SooAh. I would actually make only Gaiets in this case. Gaiets with upgrades are really strong, and they can fight both zealots and both carriers. So they are really strong against this combination. But SooAh decides on having a few tanks as well. Okay, so newer wave of zealots are arriving now, this time not supported by carriers, and they are doing a nice job, I must say. They are getting rid of quite many tanks there, and SooAh has a harder time now replenishing units because he doesn't have that many factories at home. Meanwhile, NaDa has lots of economy, so NaDa could afford having like 5 bases full of gateways, and he could still produce zealots from all of them. And this will be his main chance, to be honest, if he wants to win this game. Anyways, carriers arrive now. Lots of glides are available for SooAh, and this is a good opportunity because the zealots died, so these glides would have an easier time attacking the carriers, but they have to retreat because the newer wave of zealots are arriving, so SooAh needs to respect that. But he also did a nice job getting rid of the carriers, so this time the glides are attacking directly, and NaDa is... yeah, NaDa is basically running out of carriers. He doesn't have any of them. So in the long run, or in the long term, SooAh will experience gas problems if he doesn't start a new base here with the command center right there. Mining from this distance is not that great, so he might run out of gas soon. He needs to pay attention to that. And this might be also a chance for NaDa to win the game by forcing SooAh to run out of minerals and resources. And this time only zealots are used by him, making these units quite obsolete, quite useless again. So he's trying the mass zealot attack now, which was working quite well in the beginning, and it seems that he's able to kill more and more units with these. Also newer zealots are replenished or remade, and this time I think NaDa is doing a better job because he is attacking at the same time. He's also remaking units at the same time, and doesn't really stop the attack with these units. So this will now depend on SooAh whether he's able to survive this continuous push by NaDa, and it seems that he's able to survive because NaDa is stopping there. I think he just wants to... yeah, he was waiting for the newer units, so now they are combined and starting the attack. But now again, he's not recombining those units. They are separated from each other, and in this way they are not really effective. They die much faster. So NaDa is looking for extra bases. He really wants to make sure that SooAh is only mining in one base. And yeah, he's right basically, because if SooAh is not able to mine from more bases, then eventually he'll run out of resources. Yeah, his gas is lowering just like his minerals. So basically now SooAh needs to buy some time. Yeah, he needs to get time, basically, just to be able to get back resources. That's what he needs to do, and he's adding more and more SCVs. He knows this. If he doesn't want to lose this game now, then he needs to buy some time to get back resources and bank up on minerals and gas. So he survived the attacks. And probably this will be an arbiter finally. Well, yeah, 1 hour passed in the game and no arbiter, that's not that good. But anyway. Final option, yeah, I see we gliding through those units. So final option might be carriers only. Seriously, get rid of all the units you have, even probes, and then go for mass carriers, because then Terran has a bit harder time. Because tanks and vultures become totally useless. But for that you need to have defense in the middle of the map, you have to have lots of stargates, like double as much as NaDa has now, to be able to produce those units at the same time. So it seems that NaDa was able, SooAh was able to get back minerals, but his gas is still problematic, and basically gas will mean a greater problem for him, because basically these are the two gases that are the closest to his main, and the remaining ones are quite far, so mining from them is not that good for him. But anyway, he's alright, he's just getting a choke now. Might be a perfect time for him to get back resources, while NaDa is adding lots of shuttles to the game. So drop is not prepared. I have a feeling he'll drop on top of the tanks. He already took his main, so he doesn't need to care about that much. So let's see. Alright, he's gathering up, he's starting the attack, but the Valkyries arrive. Oh my god, the Valkyries are attacking the units here, but they stopped there, so he was able to fly inside and unload those units on top of the tanks. Alright, SooAh did a nice job by having tanks sieged, but also have tanks unsieged. So basically he saved all his tanks, well, most of his tanks. Yeah, that's what SooAh needs to do constantly, just basically scout the bases of NaDa and see what he's producing. That's how he has a chance in this game. He needs to know exactly what NaDa is up to, and then yeah, play the game accordingly. Because once he's for example, if he saw NaDa starting to prepare lots of air units here, then his chance is just moving out immediately, because tanks in that case would become absolutely useless. And you might ask, why is he not moving out? Well, problem is that he needs to get resources, he needs to get more buildings, and it's also very problematic for him to come outside safely, because NaDa has lots of expansions, and he cannot really move, he cannot really advance, because the army of SooAh can be surprised by multiple zealots from multiple directions, and it's quite threatening to him. So he's just staying in his base. He's trying to get back gas. His gas went back again to 5,000, so it's good for him. Minerals went back again. So this target is achieved basically. He managed to get back resources and stabilize his economy. The next step will be building more and more factories, and I think this command center is rather for a nuke. A nice catch there. Oh my god, that's a beautiful catch there. He's killing a few shuttles, and oh my god. Alright, so basically NaDa stopped there. He went for the main, but I think he deliberately stopped there to kill a few turrets, but rather he went to the tanks. Okay, constant station. Well, yeah, it's also useful because he needs to scan the bases of NaDa, so it's also alright. But yeah, more and more factories should be added. I will extend my choke and add more factories here and here. That's the next task, and well, the next task for NaDa is basically I will just get really mass cannons right at the middle of the map, and then add more stargates and go for mass carriers only. After a time, this is the only chance. If ground units don't work out and you cannot really do anything, then well, you can go for carriers. It's well, most pro players consider carriers, only carriers, a noob tactic, and well, quite lame, to be honest, but after like 1 hour or more than 1 hour, if nothing worked, then well, yeah, what else can you do? So he might consider this option. But right now he's just, yeah, closing, he's closing SooAh inside. And so I think he's also considering this option, but first he wants to really close those Valkyries inside, and once they are closed, he can start building up cannons in the middle of the map, and he can start carriers there. Then. So this is discovered now by SooAh, but he cannot really do that much about that. He's staying in his base, adding this choke. Alright, so newer drop. Seems that NaDa will try to decide this game with drops. This is also an option besides carriers, so once he gets enough cannons, then he can focus on mass drops. So, SooAh is doing a nice job scanning constantly. And this newer drop is now coming from this way. Okay, seems he's waiting for the newer units to gather up here, start the attack, distract SooAh, and then after yeah, start the drop down. Or meanwhile. So attack is coming now. Drop is also started. But he stopped there for a moment, and also yeah. Well, alright, oh my god, he still managed to unload quite a few zealots here and there. So basically he got rid of a few tanks. He's on the hunt for these SCVs. And also killing these tanks. So the drop defense of SooAh got weakened a bit, but of course this is not enough. And NaDa is not mining gas at all. Okay, well, yeah, finally he sent those probes to die, or I don't know, maybe to the mineral field, but I think he sent them to die. So he managed to get a few more supplies and lots of shield batteries, so that's fun. Yeah, I didn't really have the opportunity just to look around in the base of NaDa, you know. So finally, right, lots of shuttles, so preparing for drops. But SooAh is just starting to come outside. And this DT here is causing a headache for SooAh, who doesn't really see this until now. So SooAh is just coming outside. He has economy, but while attacking he should create a choke and add more factories. That's his chance, because the problem is now that even though he has a greater army, NaDa has multiple bases, and he can just really pump units. He can surprise SooAh from multiple directions. Right, newer drop is coming from this way, but this is spotted by him. Yep, he sees that if he paid attention. So okay, I'm not sure if he saw that. Anyways, it's coming inside. Yeah, he didn't see. So units are unloaded. Lots of zealots are unloaded on top of the supply depots. Well, okay, this is looking good for NaDa now. He's able to kill lots of turrets, lots of tanks, lots of supply depots. So basically he's really destroying these buildings at the back, which are quite important for SooAh as regards, yeah, economy and supplies go. Oh my god, that's bad. That's bad. Those cannons killed a few SCVs while they were trying to escape from the drop. But SooAh is just advancing. He survived this drop well, relatively well. He's losing supply depots on the one hand, so he needs to take care of that, but he's just using these mines now just to block the way for these zealots coming from this direction. So once he's able to do that, then end carriers are started. Okay, well, this is also a great opportunity for NaDa, because SooAh is basically occupied with this defense here, getting back SCVs and units. And I would also basically just build lots of command centers and lift them, and then this way SooAh doesn't have to build supply depots. Okay, so carriers are ready, and this might be a good opportunity because SooAh has lots of tanks there. His supply is mainly in tanks, but the Valkyries are going down there. Okay, never mind. Alright, this is a bit bad for SooAh. This is really bad for him, because he has tanks here, Vultures here, but carriers are going upwards, and the Valkyrie is stopped there for a moment, so he's not really able to protect them. So these units will go down for SooAh. The Valkyries will arrive a bit late. Well, alright, never mind. They arrived quite on time. NaDa was a bit hesitant there. He was just killing a few tanks, and the time it took for the carriers to kill the tanks was enough for SooAh to pull those Valkyries. But anyway, these tanks will go down irrespective of that, because they have lots of interceptors and the Valkyries are not really attacking the carriers. And also the Valkyries are going down, so well, this might be the end of the game now, as SooAh doesn't really have anti-air. So mass carriers seems to be the only solution, as I mentioned, at the phase of this game. So this attack is now commenced, and carriers are heading towards the base of SooAh. And interestingly, yeah, he has more tanks than glides, but he doesn't really know that NaDa is just really having carriers now, so no tanks will be needed that much. So he's moving upwards. Just to stop there for a moment, but I thought he will be going for the main, I mean the extra command centers. Okay, so seems that he's getting rid of these buildings gradually. He wants to get rid of any turrets or drop defense, and once the way is clear, I'm pretty sure that he will try moving inside to snipe those CCs, because then SooAh won't be able to mine from anything. He won't have any bases to mine from. I mean, he will have bases, of course, but or at least one, but he won't have command centers. I will definitely move outside with these tanks, because they are really useless against the carriers, and SooAh needs to buy time and also needs to buy free supplies, so to say. So he needs to get rid of a few tanks to be able to add more glides and Valkyries, because these tanks, once they shoot the zealots dead, they won't do anything. So these tanks are now just taking the supply of SooAh, who is not able to get enough glides and Valkyries. So newer zealots are arriving, but of course glides and vultures will be enough in this case. But of course, yeah, I will just really go for glides only. That might be a key. So mass glides. And shield batteries. so beautiful to see. You basically rarely see such a thing in a fastest map game. So. Well, okay, yep. Alright, that's it. GG.